Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for March 8th. I feel like I've been sort of AWOL all over the place lately. For those of you who have been monitoring the kind of move, search for a new house, that kind of thing, I made an offer over the weekend on the property that I want, and by the time you see this video on Monday, because I'm recording this Sunday, I anticipate that I'll be in final negotiations on that. So, and speaking of which, I think this week on the Soulprint Insights channel, I'm going to be doing a video of just sort of how you stay in a state of faith, of trust, that what you're manifesting, what you're trying to create will come. How you get that to happen, and how you stay in a place where you're able to actually almost like visualize beyond what you can actually see right now. So if you're interested in that, please hop over to that. I think I'll probably release it on Tuesday. I'm not sure. Obviously, the next couple of weeks for me are going to be incredibly busy. Oh, and one other thing. For those of you who I want to do a reading either later this week or early next week, just depending on the crazy of my own life. Just a flat pendulum reading. I want your questions again, okay? So let's aim for, I don't know, 35, 40, 50 questions that you want to ask the pendulum. Remember, they need to be yes, no questions, okay? All right, today I want to look at, speaking of crazy and crazy lives and etc., I want to take a look at Ron DeSantis, Greg Abbott, and Ron Johnson, and just see what is going on for them. So this is a bit of a mini read. Sit back. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find it interesting. For those of you who, my new subscribers, thank you. For people who have donated, thank you so much. The comments, the thumbs up, I love them all. I read them all. I've been slower to read them, slower to comment, but I'm getting it done. And the same thing if you send me private emails. I see them. I don't always respond to them as soon as I see them, but I will get back to you. You just need to give me a little bit more patience. And for those of you who are interested, I am anticipating that immediately after Easter, I think, so somewhere around the middle of April, is when I anticipate getting back to kind of my full-time private reading schedule. So for those of you who are interested in that, please send me a request for information at soulprintinsights888@gmail.com. All right, here we go. Let's tackle Ron DeSantis first. In some ways, I consider him almost the most dangerous simply because he has 4 more years in office, right? Whereas Abbott only has 2. And Ron Johnson, I don't know. There's a lot of talk about him not running again. And honestly, that would be a good thing. So let's take a look at Florida and Ron DeSantis. For my viewers in Florida, hello. Special shout out to all of you. I hope you're hanging in there. It's been a lot of topsy-turvy energy, a lot of kind of crazy weather, a lot of crazy politics. Come on down, I have a question. Okay, here we go. That's one more shuffle, and then let's take a look at Ron DeSantis, Florida, and his political fortunes. Here we go. Ron DeSantis, Florida, Ron DeSantis, Florida, Ron DeSantis, Florida. Let's see what we can see here, shall we? So, he is, he doesn't think COVID's all that real. He doesn't understand why we have to, take all these sort of measures that, impede people's freedoms, like things like masking and social distancing. He has proved to be somebody who has crawled so far up Trump's rear end that I'm surprised we don't see him waving from Trump's mouth, honestly. So let's see. Okay, so look at, he's got off the top here, he's got some really good looking cards. So let's delve a little bit deeper and actually get to the messages of the cards. Here we go. So one of the things that Ron has been particularly successful at is playing to and whipping up and kind of keeping the staunch Republicans in Florida sort of on his side. He has fed them enough misinformation and stowed enough confusion. And that's his thing, right? His thing is getting people whipped up emotionally so that they will support him, okay? So that he sort of almost like enrages them. And so people who are Republican in that state, you know, they tend to follow him kind of like lemmings, okay? They just sort of follow him wherever he goes and jumps off the cliff when he does. But the thing is that he also presents in many, many ways as frankly somebody who is emotionally not only like unstable, you know, he seems to have a bit of a fly off the handle temper and that kind of thing. He's aggressive. He's sarcastic in a way that is really unattractive. But you also get the feeling that, you know, his own emotions are sort of volatile and there isn't a lot of, I almost want to say clarity or calmness to the thinking processes. His only concern is being elected, being reelected, creating political favors, staying strong in Trump's corner. That's his deal. And honestly, he will stoop to nothing. There is no bar low enough that he won't crawl under to accomplish what he wants to accomplish. And for right now, it's working. Not well, maybe, not the way most of my viewers would like, but for right now, it appears that he's in a relatively strong position. I don't know what his approval rating is in Florida. I don't tend to pay attention to that kind of stuff. But this is the thing. He's ultimately going to end up facing some significant disappointment. And I want to say, so he has a 6-year term and he has 4 more years to go. So he's in year 2. I want to say that something's going to happen in year 3. So when is that? So 2019, 2020, 21. Okay, so this year, in his 3rd year, it looks as if he's going to really be facing some turbulence. And that turbulence is going to be, in many ways, he's going to handle it so badly, it feels like, that it's really going to be sort of this cross that he carries. It's like a stigmatism that he's really, really going to have a hard time digging out from under. And it has to do with the distribution of funds, and it has to do with laws or trying to create new laws or change new laws. This could have something to do with, you know, voter suppression, but it feels as if in some ways he is not smart enough to be as cocky as he is, okay? He doesn't really have the kind of political savvy that he likes to think he has. But I have to tell you, at this point, even despite this, it looks like in the short term, he is going to be able to sort of continue in his sort of extreme right attitudes and behaviors. And it looks like for right now anyways. He unfortunately is going to continue that and maintain that. Now, I'm still seeing this Three of Swords as a real problem period for him. He's going to actually end up having to make a decision. And the bottom line is it feels very much like he's going to make the wrong decision, or the decision he makes is going to lead to some sort of a significant concern or event that he's really not going to be able to explain or justify. This is what everybody has to remember about these sort of Republican senators, is that their people, the citizens of these Republican states, really like the stimulus package. They really like what's happening with the vaccination rollout. And so the more some of these senators really try to stick to that Trumpian attitude, what they're going to find is that more and more of their own voters are kind of looking at them and saying, well, listen, Biden certainly didn't have any trouble getting this thing through. Biden didn't have any trouble getting all these vaccinations ramped up. What the heck? Like, what were you guys doing? Why weren't you supporting this? And so in some ways, they're going to run into trouble going forward, because a year from now or so, people in the United States are going to be looking around and they're going to be like, yeah, you know what? It was Biden. It was the Democrats. Those are the ones who got us through this. And so in some ways, it almost doesn't matter how bright the star shines. It's not going to shine bright for forever. And when it falls, and he will fall, it's going to kind of be the end. Okay, he's got a tower moment coming. It's not coming this year, I don't think. Or no, it's going to come. If it comes, it'll be later on in the year, like I'm thinking fall, winter time. But there is definitely a tower moment, and he's going to make a decision. It's not going to be the right one, and he's really going to, it's going to be foolish what he does. It's going to be haphazard what it does. And frankly, it's going to be something that he does only because Trump wants it, or he believes that this is going to be what Trump would approve of. Don't forget now, Trump is a citizen of Florida. And so DeSantis, in his own way, really, really feels like he has to really scrape and bow, because he really believes that his political fortunes are wrapped around Trump. And honestly, I don't think he's wrong. Certainly not right now, he's not wrong. All right. So I'm not, it looks like for right now, he's going to coast. And then it looks like towards the end of this year, early into next year, I think there's going to be some real problems for him. I've got my pendulum here. I'm just going to ask, I think, 2 quick questions. Let me get my cards stuffed back in the deck here. Okay. Pendulum. Is Ron DeSantis, okay, so it's ready to talk. There's that side-to-side motion. Pendulum, is Ron DeSantis going to run for re-election in 4 years? Yes, he is. At this point, based on the current trajectory, is he going to win re-election? Ron DeSantis, Florida, is he going to win re-election in 4 years? That's a no. And I certainly hope the Democratic Party in Florida is starting now to, do what they need to do to strengthen, the pushback against voter suppression, grow the Democratic or Independent Party in Florida. Okay. But he's still going to be cocky for several more years, and unfortunately, you're still going to have to put up with him. But as of right now, anyways, it looks like he's on very, very slippery ice, and it feels like he's not going to be able to actually maintain that traction very, very well. Greg Abbott, let's take a look at him. Good Lord, this man. You know, people in Texas are in so much pain still. I mean, in all the southern states. It's kind of unfortunate that everything hinges around Texas and kind of the surrounding states that were also impacted by the horrendous, horrendous cold weather you got and the ramifications of that are sort of kind of not included. They just get lumped in with the whole Texas thing. But of course, you know, he has decided that there's not any good reason at all, for God's sakes, for people to be you know, wearing masks. There's not any good reason that the state should not completely reopen for business. And you kind of get it in as much as there's so much damage and destruction that has been done. I think on the one hand, part of what he's sort of thinking is that if he doesn't open up the state, you know, it's going to be even harder for people to recover. And that may be a valid point. Unfortunately, what he's neglecting to take into consideration is the fact that he is seriously and significantly putting people's lives in danger. You know, even if he had waited a few more months, 2 or 3 more months, it would have been so much safer, because the vaccine rollout would really, the way it's going now, would almost be, you know, maybe not completed, but awful close to sort of wrapping up. And he waited until the end of May, beginning of June. But, you know, come on down. All right, let's have a little conversation about Greg Abbott, Texas. Greg Abbott, Texas. Greg Abbott, Texas. Okay, so he has, this is his second, no, it's not. This is, he's been the governor since 2014. He's up for re-election at you know, the midterms, right, in 2022. That election, he is up for re-election. For right now, he's another one. He really, really believes that if he continues to support Trump, he continues to support and push back with the rest of the Republicans, it feels as if he thinks that he is going to be able to weather this storm. Unfortunately, he's not. Like, he's just not. There is so much stuff going on behind the scenes, and we're not privy to it. We don't see it, but it's going on, and that in and of itself is going to contribute to his tower moment. And here comes judgment. So it feels as if a little bit like not only is he right now getting pushback, you know, from mayors in Texas, from health officials in Texas, but there's even more pushback that he's actually getting behind the scenes. He's not working with the right information. He's twisting it. It's obscured. And that ultimately is going to lead to his tower moment and the judgment. The judgment is going to be swift and harsh. So I'm not exactly, certainly at this, it doesn't look like he's going to have a very good re-election going forward in 2022. Yeah, he is not paying attention to the people's actual response to what he's doing. He's only paying attention to what the Republican Party's line is. He's paying attention, again, to Trump, what Trump wants. But he's not really paying a lot of attention to what is actually going on around him. It's like he holds himself above the people and he feels sort of disconnected from them. For him, it's all about, you know, how do I prove that I am a good and great, strong Republican? And that's what's motivating him. That's where his thinking is. He's completely oblivious to some of the criticism. He really feels that if he just keeps pushing ahead and pushing ahead, ultimately, it's all going to be fine. What, again, he is not taking into consideration is that the Biden administration, just simply by being the Biden administration, is ultimately going to make him look really bad. Because you know what? I don't care if you're a staunch Republican in red Texas, although I swear Texas is purple. It's not even red. Anyways, he thinks that if he's just plows forward, it's all going to be fine. It's not going to be fine because they want their stimulus checks. They want their vaccines. They want their children back in school safely. They want to be able to return to, you know, employment and recover. And now you have these people who already were in a horrific place, and now they've been slammed with these crazy weather conditions. And he seems to think if he just pushes, somehow he's going to make it so they forget all of this. They're not going to forget about it. Trust me, they are not going to forget about it. I don't think he is going to have a very good, what is it, about 18 months or so before the midterms, maybe a bit longer than that. 20 months maybe. It does not look like he is going to be able to get himself, frankly, out of the mess that he has gotten himself into. Yeah, it is sort of that blind adherence to, you know, the Republican Party, to what they all think Trump wants. And again, he's another one. It doesn't matter how low he goes. There is no low enough, is what I'm trying to say. Also, it doesn't look good for him, I have to say. Holy cow. Pendulum. All right. Greg Abbott of Texas. Is he going to run again in the next election? Wow. That's a no. Is he going to be able to complete his term as senator of Texas? Oops. Is Greg Abbott going to complete his current term as one of the senators of Texas? Yes, but you'll see it's a very kind of small yes. So it really, oh, sorry, no, he's a governor of Texas. My apologies. It really doesn't bode well for him. It really doesn't. Is he going to have an exceptionally difficult time between now and the midterm elections? Is this going to be a rough period for him? Yeah. Okay. I don't know what's coming around the pike for him, but it's not good. Okay, it's really not. He's in trouble, and he's going to be in trouble. And the people of Texas, more and more, are going to really be done with his theatrics, his stupidity, his making decisions that are so dangerous. And his almost like inability to, you know, pay a lot of attention to what is actually going on in his state and what the people of his state are trying to deal with. So, Ron DeSantis, Greg Abbott. Let's take a look at Ron Johnson, shall we? Now, he is a senator from Wisconsin. He has been one since 2010. He is also up for re-election. in the the next election coming up, midterms. And this is an interesting one because just this weekend he has announced that he probably is not going to run again. So let's take a look at him and see. I think I'm just looking basically to confirm whether he will or won't. He's another one. I mean, he is so staunch Trump, right? He is the rightest of the right of the Republican Party. He says stupid stuff. He doesn't, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was the one who caused that entire stimulus bill to be read by the clerks. It took 11 hours. It passed anyways, so this was just political theater. Let's take a look at him. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Holy cow, my card's like, hang on. Ow. I guess my cards had something to say to him, or for him, or about him. Let's take a look, shall we? Ron Johnson, Wisconsin. Ron Johnson, Wisconsin. Ron Johnson, Wisconsin. Going down. Heavy load. Yeah, okay. So, it certainly looks like he really is not likely to run again. He is feeling the weight of some of his choices and behaviors. It's not going to, again, it very much feels, hello, by the way, viewers in Wisconsin, and of course Texas. It feels very much, again, as if the only people that really like him are the people who are right-wing themselves, who attack state capitals, who attack, the federal buildings, all right? So he is, his resources, the number of support dwindling. Now, within the Republican Party of Wisconsin, I suspect he's still actually doing fairly well. But in terms of the people, more and more, Wisconsin is blue. It is purple. It is not that deep red. And he's sort of unpopular with more people than he is popular with, okay? So he's not in a good place. So it's actually not surprising at all. This is the other thing. He is actually, quite financially comfortable. And it feels almost as if there is some part of him that is like, I don't need a lot of scrutiny paid to my own stuff, to what I've been doing, to what I've been all about behind the scenes quietly. And so he has a real, hold on, sorry. He has a real push to protect himself, to, I'm sorry, hold on. Sorry about that. Persistent daughters, Okay, so his deal is he doesn't want a lot of people paying a whole lot of attention to him because he's got stuff that really is not going to stand up to scrutiny. He's in trouble. It's just that simple. He's going to do everything he can to hold on to what he has and try to get himself out of this and move into smoother waters. I don't know that it's going to be all that successful for him. I really don't. It very definitely feels as if he is, it feels as if he is going to leave politics with a very, very tarnished reputation. Okay, so now that we've crawled around in the Republican muck for a while, I'm just going to take a quick look and see how President Joe Biden is doing. Because boy, oh boy, he sure has gotten a lot done. I don't know, with 47 days, 50 days or something. Wow, he is just going gangbusters. And, you know, there is that feeling that he is wanting to work with the other party, that he is open to some compromise. But when it comes right down to it, he has a spine of steel. And people don't see that because he's friendly and he has that charming smile and he looks like he's so easy to get along with. Yeah, until you're not going along with what he wants and needs for the country. And then that spine, rigid, absolutely rigid. So, quick, let's just take a fast look and see how your president is doing. It's kind of nice to be able to refer to the leader of your country as a president. I'm pretty much positive I never referred to Trump using those words. All right, come on down. Let's take a peek at Biden. Okay. How is Joe Biden doing? How is Joe Biden doing? How is Joe Biden doing? He's pushing ahead, all right. He's pushing ahead. Okay, don't be panicking about these two cards. They have very different meanings than they had for Ron Johnson. Okay, so this is Biden's deal, right? He is pushing ahead. He is moving forward. He is getting the stuff done that he wants to get done. And listen up. I mean, there's been a lot of attention paid to the stimulus package, and rightly so. But he is sort of operating on oh my God, they just showed me a picture of an octopus, and that's exactly, it's like he's the head of the octopus, and those 8 legs are literally the different areas that he is working on simultaneously. So it is immigration, it is voting rights, it is, you know, justice, it's the vaccinations, it's healthcare, it's the stimulus, it's everything, okay? And as that octopus, you know, it's all attached to the head, right? And so all of these different spokes, if you will, or legs, I guess, are very, very busy, and they're all doing things that ultimately support the head. They're all doing things that are going to create strength for him going forward. He right now is honestly in a period of tremendous success. His popularity rating is up. The things he's doing are very, very popular and well supported, except by those stubborn Republicans. And again, they can be stubborn all they want, but the reality is it's those guys guys, because it's Republicans, so they're white and they're male. Their constituents like what he's doing. They want the stimulus check. They want those vaccinations to be free, and they want them to be fast. They like what he's doing, and the Republicans are, you know, just being the Republicans, but he is gaining strength and momentum when it comes to the average American, whether they voted for him or not. And by doing that, and by continuing to defend what is right and pushing back and working hard with, of course, Kamala, so this is the administration, he is literally going to bring down and defeat those kinds of lower consciousness, lower energy, attitudes, feelings, behaviors that were allowed to flourish under the past administration. He is ultimately going to bring a lot of comfort. He's going to honor his promises. He's going to make stuff happen. And he is going to continue to build momentum going forward. And he is going to continue to, rehabilitate. That's the word I'm getting. Not only rehabilitate the United States, rehabilitate the United States' image, globally, rehabilitate relationships with allies. He's doing so well. Like, he's really doing great. He's trying to restore things so that they feel familiar. He's trying to get that feeling back of, safety and security and not being embarrassed by your country. But he's not looking to go backwards in time. He's trying to recreate that feeling of hope, advancement, security. But he's forging new paths to get it done. Okay. That is not terrible news. It really is not. That's good news all the way around. So, you got 4 more years of DeSantis. Greg Abbott, it doesn't even look like he's going to try to run. I don't know what's happening with him, but it's not going to be good. And Ron Johnson, I believe when he says he's probably not going to run, I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So, and hopefully, Wisconsin will be in a place where they can elect a Democrat, where they can bring some stability, literally, to their own state. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Okay. So, again, I am kind of crazy busy, and so my videos are going to be sporadic. I apologize. I know that you look forward to them, and I so appreciate the fact that you look forward to them. You have no idea. But I will be on track, a few weeks down the line, everything's going to sort of revert back to something that we recognize as normal. I will put out what I can, and I will certainly keep you informed of my journey going forward. Again, thank you so much for your support. Until next time, take care. Be well. Bye-bye.